despite recent box office disappointments, profitability pressures, and a boardroom battle with Trian's Nelson Peltz. Let's bring in New York Times columnist Jim Stewart, knows this company better than anybody. Jim, welcome back. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Scott.
What are your expectations here?
Well, I think we're going to see some decent numbers, although, again, they're wild cards stemming from the strike and the fact that costs were suppressed, that they didn't get as much new content out there. And as we know, the holiday box office was very weak for Disney. But I think you're going to see solid theme park results, and I'm thinking that we're finally going to see some improvement in the streaming losses. And that's where investors, I think, are to really be glued for clues to the future of the big Disney streaming bet.
You feel like there's a bit of a conundrum here in that, Bob Iger, the now returned CEO, has clearly made it a focus to spend less money. And he's under pressure to do as much from whether it's shareholders, activists, and whoever. But at the same time, the company's criticized for the lack of compelling new content. How's he supposed to navigate that?
Well, I think he's going to look at the data and the subscriber results. I mean, in the last quarter earnings, I was somewhat surprised to see that despite the lack of new content going on to Disney Plus because of the strikes, the subscriber numbers held up pretty well. And I think we've seen lately with Netflix revealing what people are actually watching, an incredible amount of viewership is being spent on old material. It's like reruns of beloved previous series. So the new content may not be quite as important as a lot of people once thought it was. Now, that said, many people believe that when Iger said, look, I'm cutting content by 30%, that was a signal to his rivals, and number one of those is Netflix, that, whoa here, can we maybe kind of put the brakes on this, nuclear arms race of spending that's been going on content? And those hopes were dashed when Netflix came out recently and said, no, we're pouring the money in, we're putting the pedal down. We are still spending, $17 to $20 billion a year on content. So that remains to be seen. Like, how important is the new content going to be? And can Netflix now increase its dominance as it maintains or steps up the spending while others are being forced to cut back?
And what do we do about the whole activist issue here? And I'm curious as to how you're thinking about it, as well as you know this company and have known Iger presumably for many years. So Blackwell's now today has the definitive proxy statement to elect 3 nominees. You got Peltz there. Blackwell's is against Peltz, and Blackwell's is also suggesting the possibility of splitting the company into 3 entities. Before we get to that suggestion, just on the activist angle in general, how does this all play out?
Well, I think from a shareholder perspective, it's probably good. I mean, I think a lot of the recent improvement in the Disney share price is because of this activist involvement here. And I realize that incumbent management doesn't like these people coming in and criticizing them and saying they know better and stirring the pot like that. But it does put pressure. And in some ways, it gives someone like Iger an excuse to say, look, we've got to move fast. We don't have the luxury of spinning our wheels for a while deciding what to do. We have an activist breathing down our neck. We have a proxy fight. We've got to show some results. And above all, we've got to get the share price up. So it gives him an excuse to accelerate some things that he might otherwise meet with greater resistance. So I don't think there's any harm from a shareholder perspective to have these people involved.
You take any... I'm curious, what are your thoughts about this idea of splitting Disney potentially into 3 separate entities?
Well, I haven't studied that in any depth, but I can't believe that that's going to get serious traction. I mean, I've looked at their proposal a little bit. There's something about, spinning off the real estate. An interesting thing about a lot of activist ideas is it's not like Disney has never thought of these things. I mean, they have much more data than the outsiders do. They have internal strategic planning people. I'm sure they have looked at the real estate situation. They've also, I'm sure, looked at, splitting up the company somehow. I mean, Iger himself, at Sun Valley, now he's kind of walked this back and said, well, we have non-critical assets, maybe non-core assets that we could sell or spin off. And I think, as I said, he's kind of walked that back. It's not as easy. I would have to say that with Disney, like the big assets, the film studios, the theme parks, there have always been pretty impressive synergies there that make Disney a unique company. I mean, they take the intellectual property from the Imagineering side, the movie side, the streaming, the series side, and then they spin out rides, and they also get movies out of the ride. So it's I would be very cautious about ideas about just breaking up the company. I don't see that as being in the cards.
Jim Stewart, I thank you very much for your time today. We'll see you soon.
Sure.